Hey, Chem Squad, welcome back. I'm Matt.
Wow.
Yeah, said it.
Way to drop it. I'm Sam.
Yeah, she came up with that name.
I did. And
Yeah,
the logo.
yeah,
Because I'm
yeah,
cool like that. I like my skulls.
yeah. With these skull tattoos and all that.
What? Listen, that's what I like.
All right, speaking of skull tattoos, we got a creepy one that stuck with me for a while when I first saw it.
What are you talking about?
The video we're gonna watch.
Oh.
Jesus, pay attention. Keep up.
I don't know what the hell you're doing.
This is the Nutty Putty tragedy. Wow. Tragedy.
Tragedy? Okay.
Jesus. I'm okay. Oh my god. Nutty Putty tragedy. I gotta enunciate.
You okay?
My lord. All right. You've never heard about this, right?
No. And then you were about to tell me something, and I said, do it on camera.
Yeah, this is like a famous cave incident.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I don't want to ruin it for you at the end, but, yeah.
Well, the title says Trapped Forever, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, you're not gonna like this either because it has to do with. Does the cave have water, or it's just like one of those
First
kind
time
of
I saw
caves?
this, I was working, and then I couldn't stop thinking about it.
This was when you were doing security all by your lonesome for 18
No, I was
hours.
sitting here.
Oh, well, then you just.
I fell down a rabbit hole of tragedies. And I got into, like, deep sea diving tragedies
I don't
and
know why you
cave
do that to
divings.
yourself.
I'm on it all the time.
But you have that phobia. Why would you do that to
You
yourself?
need to know the enemy.
Oh, it's
That's why,
water.
that's why I'm always watching shark videos. I'm terrified of sharks,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to know the enemy.
And when you go into the water with the shark,
I'm not doing that.
exactly.
If it
So
came up on land, I know.
how are you prepared?
If it came up on land, I know what to do.
Come
Hit
on,
it,
land.
punch it in the gills.
Oh my god. So you're gonna make me watch something that's gonna bug me out because it's claustrophobic.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, exactly. It's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Okay. I don't know how people do these cave things, especially the ones where they have to tilt their head and like crawl between two rocks, and it's just like they're inching.
Yeah,
No,
sometimes it
you're
doesn't.
insane. I don't know how you do that. I don't. I just no.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't go well. You're about to see one of those times.
Yeah, I. Huh?
All right, ready?
No,
Okay,
but I guess
okay, hit the button. Go.
great.
When families gather for the holidays, fun activities are often planned to make core memories together. The Jones family decided to go caving at Nutty Putty, but they had no idea of the
Together?
devastating loss their family would
As a
suffer.
family.
This is the fatal breakdown of the Nutty Putty Cave tragedy.
See that?
John Jones was ready for some family fun when they decided to explore the Nutty Putty Cave in the Utah desert near Salt Lake City. He had not been to this particular cave before, but he and his brother Josh had spent much of their youth caving in a variety of Utah caves.
No.
He considered himself to be an experienced caver, though his exploring had
Look at that. That's the view from the entrance. There's nothing around.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't even
God
like
forbid
being
anything. Who's helping you?
no one. I don't even like being like on the surface in an area like that.
Yeah, I know. Because it's where we grew up.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
We didn't grow up in that area. That's like when someone that grew up there went into like the city or the suburbs. They're like, I can't be here. There's too many people.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
the
so
opposite.
opposite. I'm like, I'm gonna die
I
if
need
I'm
I need
in one
more
of those
people,
areas.
so I'm annoyed at the amount of people around me. That's how I know I'm level.
No, you have to hear the noises.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't be too far from a highway. That's how trash I am.
Wait to show your Long Island, New Yorker issue.
Yeah, right.
Unbelievable.
had slowed
Believe it.
down in recent years. He had gotten married, had a child, and was currently a medical student at University of
great.
Virginia. This
we don't
made
know
for
if
a
that
busy
kid belongs to
regular
him.
schedule, which left little time for cave exploring. During the Thanksgiving break, he was returning home to relax with family for the holiday. They planned a day of hiking and exploring at Nutty Putty, which is considered a beginner's cave by most. The main areas of the cave were interesting for everyone. There was the maze room, which had openings and tunnels leading around large boulders. There was a large ramped area called the slide, where the
That's
entire
okay.
room sloped down at a 45-degree angle.
That is not
That's
okay.
not okay. I'm saying like where you saw before how they were walking and like they're standing but hunching over. That's okay. This just no.
No.
Mm-mm. A big
With a
slide.
rope to guide you
Yeah.
down. This cave system was well mapped in most of the traversable areas. There were also well-known areas that were more
Flip some
challenging, like the birth canal or the aorta crawl. These areas were tight and difficult to pass.
Hell no.
So only more experienced cavers would be attempting to squeeze through these passages. Even with the known challenges, people still found themselves stuck in tight squeezes in these tunnels. Nutty Putty had just recently been opened back up to the public after being closed for several years because of cavers getting stuck in these difficult squeezes. They were passable for some, but others would find that their shoulders or hips would just not pass, no matter how hard they pulled against the rock.
You want me to leave that on the screen for a little bit? Do you really take it all in?
Nope.
Right.
After wedging themselves in the narrow space, they were completely stuck, requiring serious assistance to inch out backwards. Because of these rescues, a new permit-style entry was required, listing 2 experienced cavers per group. Josh had obtained a permit for a group to explore the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, November 24, 2009. John's pregnant wife Emily stayed back at the house with their 1-year-old daughter Lizzie to enjoy a more relaxing evening.
Alright, that baby might have belonged to him.
You think?
Yeah.
With the in-laws. Their group of 11 family and friends started off in the main open cave sections. Eventually, John and his brother Josh took 2 friends off to find more challenging tunnels to try. They had heard stories about the birth canal and consulted the map for its location. It was known to be a long, tight passage with a particularly tight squeeze near the end.
Yeah, it is.
Why?
What?
If you could just get past the narrowest part, there would be a small room at the end to stand up and turn around. They
and then
knew
do
that
it again.
The birth canal would be tight.
Yeah, it's not like you go down the cave and there's like an escalator back out.
And could be panic-inducing, even for experience.
So you're telling me these people, okay, are going into a mapped-out cave that tells them, hey, you're going to go through this little fucking thing, and there's just going to be a little room, but you have to go back through that thing. There's no exit.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Fun?
How is that fun?
I don't know, I don't do this.
You almost get stuck, almost die, and then you get to this room, and then now basically you're stuck in this room and have to go back through the thing that basically almost just killed you, that you almost didn't make out, and now you have to do it again. It's just like instant panic attack.
Yeah, the whole time. This is why we don't do this.
You know, people that do this, they must have like a different wiring in their brain, because there's no way.
The spelunkering wire?
I don't know. Because that's... No.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Experienced cavers. They spread out to try to find this particular tunnel. John and Josh took the passage on the left, moving through a small tunnel for around 15 feet. It undulated up and down in several elevations over the next 10 feet. There were outcroppings of rocks and tight squeezes that required a caver to twist their body in several orientations to get shoulders past, then hips, and finally twisting legs so that they bend in the proper direction. It was not a matter of simply pulling your body forcefully through a tight hole. This area was called the corkscrew because the few who had been through it were small and flexible, using all their skills to maneuver slowly through the panic-inducing contortions. After the corkscrew area, the passage angles up for another 5 feet or so, then turns down over a rock ledge with a sharp 90-degree bend to the left. Up until now, cavers had used this small area after the corkscrew to turn back on themselves if needed, and head back through the difficult section. 5 years before, a 16-year-old boy named Brock Clark was stuck in this corkscrew section. He was only 5 foot 7 inches tall and weighed 140 pounds, but got wedged when he was trying to turn around. It took 14 hours for rescuers to free him. John was in the exact spot where Brock got stuck trying to...
Okay.
What? What now?
First off, 14 hours to get rescued. So everybody just think for a second, if you're just a person that has anxiety, okay, and you're just having a panic attack, and you want it to subside, how the fuck do you go through that for 14 hours and you die of a heart attack from having anxiety?
Yeah, that's why I tell you, if I ever fell into the ocean, I'd die of a heart attack before a shark touched me.
You're not gonna die of a heart attack, because then we'd get you from the boat. This is like this stuck. If we went on a cruise, which I don't like cruises anyway.
No.
and, you know, we went through a Titanic situation.
No.
I'm just saying.
No, it's not happening.
No.
I'm doing it.
Fuck up. I'm talking about if we actually went through that and it was a Titanic scenario, okay, and then we were stuck like fucking floating buoys in the water, I can see you having a panic attack and dying from that. But I'm saying, like, if we're just on a regular boat and you jump off or whatever, and then you jump back in, you're not gonna die of a panic attack, heart attack.
If we are on a cruise and it goes down, I'm Rose.
You're fucking rough.
I'm pushing you off everything.
Oh, thanks. You're the guy that she was gonna marry.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the women and children first. Now I'm going. Asshole. Jesus. That's fine. I'll probably know how to scuba dive at that point.
That doesn't matter.
I'm not going on a goddamn cruise like that.
No.
I don't understand how that floats, but we're getting off track. That's another video.
Buoyancy, water displacement.
I don't know. Just go. No.
Ballast.
Shut the fuck up. What was the boat that you took me to? The Intrepid?
The Intrepid, yeah.
That fucking thing just as you walked up to.
She goes, "Oh, it's so small." I'm like, "No, that's like the top of it." And I'm like, "Look," I'm like, "Back up," and they keep looking. She's like, "Oh,
no,
shit."
It's like how the boat is this wide. Is this wide, and then it goes. Yeah. This tiny. How does that balance?
Well, because there's a bigger part underneath the water.
Yeah, I get it. All right, we're getting into a whole boat, but this is caves.
Yes.
Go.
Far away from the ocean.
Even worse. Let's go.
Trying to turn around. Since John was 6 feet tall and 200 pounds, he clearly knew that turning around in this part of the tunnel was not an option for him. Oh. He was in a 12-inch high space, with not enough lateral area for his pressed body to ball up for a turn. He pushed forward to the ledge area and squeezed over the top of it. It was a tight area to get through, but he thought he could see it open up down below. He sucked in his stomach and pressed himself through the squeeze, pulling forward on the rocks in front of him. He would be moving head first in a downwards angle now, but it looked like there was an area ahead to turn around. John didn't know it, but no one else had ever crossed over this ledge before. He was in completely uncharted territory.
Cool.
Despite being in an extremely tight and uncomfortable position, John kept his cool. He was certain that there would be an opening ahead. All along, he thought he was in some part of the birth canal, where many cavers had felt stuck in the constricting tunnel, but ended up being just fine once they reached the other side. Once he passed through a tight zone, he started to slide toward the bottom of this tunnel. He was nearly doing a handstand, trying to hold his body up and figure out how to push backwards. He still couldn't turn, and now he was upside down. Gravity was pulling his 200-pound body against the fading strength of his arms. He yelled out to his brother Josh and told him not to follow him, but to go back out. They discussed his options and decided that moving forward to try to turn around was the best idea. He was collapsing onto his shoulders and head at this point, and needed to make a move to get out of this vertical position. His headlamp gave him a glimpse of a hole in the floor ahead, which might lead to a larger space. He felt a little more hopeful now, thinking that they would be laughing about this misadventure over Thanksgiving.
We have vapors?
He made the slight turn and headed towards the hole. Exactly how he got himself into this tunnel hole is unknown. It's thought that he may have slipped, hit his head, and became wedged in the tight space. The other thought was that he looked in the hole, but misjudged what he saw, thinking it was an opening and not simply a dead-end fissure. Either way, John had ended up in a small opening in the bottom of this tunnel, which was impossibly narrow. Just 18 inches by 10 inches, not much bigger than the screen of a laptop computer. John found himself wedged nearly completely upside down at a 70-degree angle. He had spent some time trying to push himself back upwards out of this hole. It was exhausting. His arms were pinned in a useless position, one folded under his chest, and the other trapped on a rock down by his side.
Oh, God.
He strained against the walls and quickly realized that all of his effort would not move him back up 5 feet to the shallow tunnel. His calves and feet were still free up in the passage, but his legs were now wedged on the smallest side of the hole, only 8 inches wide. He started yelling for Josh again. His brother knew that he was trying to turn around, so his yells were not a good sign. Josh made his way back into this tight space and traversed the corkscrew path. But unlike his brother, he went feet first this time. He continued toward the sound of John's voice, up over the ledge. He finally came to an alarming sight. He could see the end of his brother's legs sticking out of the rock, as if it had swallowed him whole. He inched forward until his feet could squeeze one of John's legs. He tried to grip and pull up, while John pushed from his end. After several futile attempts, they were both feeling exhausted and frustrated. Josh could see that this was very serious, and they would need professional help to get him out. They agreed that Josh should go get help, and John should try, as much as possible, to stay calm and relaxed. While Josh went for help, one of the other family friends went into the area to speak to John and let him know that he wasn't alone. For several hours, John just remained trapped upside down, focused mostly on the chore of breathing. The fissure squeezed his chest, where only shallow breaths were possible. All of his efforts to move up had actually settled him deeper into the crack. As time went on, gravity continued to pull him against the rough walls of the tunnel, tightening its grip on his exhausted body. Once help had arrived, the first cave rescuer, Susie Matola, made her way to where John was stuck. It was now 12:30 in the morning, and John had been upside down for 3 hours. Susie was just 5 feet 3 inches tall, so working her way through the corkscrew area was much easier for her. Ropes had been tied to her ankles as a precaution in case she got stuck as well. She checked on how John was doing and let him know that they'd be getting him out. He must have had a small wave of relief, thinking that professional help had arrived and he would soon be free of this trap. Susie tied webbing straps around his legs and then fed it back to the pit where the tunnel started. Several attempts were made to pull on the ropes to leverage John back up and out of the fissure. There was just too much friction on the ropes to make any effective release on John. He was still pinned, without the use of his arms to fully assist. After attempting a few things and considering many aggressive options, the decision was made to enlist a pulley system in order to help lift John up and out. A pulley had been successfully used when Brock Clark was stuck 5 years before. Even though they had a plan of how to help, this was not an easy location to work in. Each piece of equipment would need to be brought in from the entrance, which took nearly an hour to reach the other side of Corkscrew. The tunnel was extremely tight, and only smaller power tools could be carried in and out. Only one person could be in there to assist at a time, and they would need to be small or wiry to effectively move through the passage. It was just not an ideal situation. Each pulley took an extraordinary amount of time to install. During this time, cavers were trying to talk with John, console him, and share stories to keep him calm and talking. He was a devout Mormon and spent time praying and singing to seek solace in this unreal situation. John had spent the night upside down and was showing signs of the physical limitations of the body to withstand this position. The human body was not made to be upside down for long. The entire circulatory system is designed using pulses of pressure from the heart to move blood forward through the system, while valves and fibrous vessels would hold blood and stop it from going backwards. This one-way flow balances pressure, gravity, and valves to keep oxygen available to all tissues and to remove toxins from the body through the kidneys. John's body had been fighting gravity for more than 12 hours. The brain was not built to withstand this kind of fluid pressure. Fluids were building up in his lungs, and toxins were starting to accumulate from the lack of proper circulation. His organs were pressing on his lungs, and each breath was an exhausting effort for muscles not built for such work. His breathing was slowing, and he was completely spent from the effort.
Yeah, he's got to feel like complete shit at this point. And terrified, so...
What makes you think that? 12 hours stuck.
Yeah, upside down.
With pressure on your stomach and lungs, and then squeezing in there more.
Yeah. Trying to keep hope alive that you're trying to, get them out or get him out. This whole story is crazy.
Throughout the night, he had gone from being completely calm and lucid to helplessly thrashing his legs and hallucinating. It was excruciating to watch for the rescuers. They were helpless, exhausted, and feeling trapped themselves. The air in this cave system was warm and damp. It took a concerted effort to remain calmly breathing when you are restricted and can't move or even breathe properly. But the rescuers knew they could get out when needed. John didn't have that luxury. He couldn't expand his chest to breathe, and the air around him was losing its oxygen concentration little by little. During this time, a wired telecom system was brought down to where John was stuck. His wife spoke with him, encouraging him to hang on and be faithful. John assured her that he would be out with her soon. It wasn't until 4 o'clock that day that they finally got the pulleys in place to move him. Ryan Schertz was in the tunnel when the system was ready to try. John's body had settled into the narrow side of the opening, so Ryan had to push his legs over as the team pulled from outside. Each heave moved him inch by inch up out of the hole. By this time, John's legs were in excruciating pain. A rope had been tied around his legs for hours, as rescuers tried various methods to help him out. They were completely blue and had no discernible pulse, yet each tug had him call out to stop as his nerves were ultra-sensitive at this point. They paused to give him a moment to gather himself, and then tried again. It seemed to be working. John was finally being pulled up out of this hole. He was raised enough for Ryan to look down to make actual eye contact with him, and pass down a tube to drink Gatorade. This effort was extremely slow going, and they were all exhausted from the difficult effort. Ryan was squeezed in a tunnel just 12 inches high, and had his head near John's legs as they worked him slowly out of the tight 10-inch fissure. Although they were making some progress in lifting him up, they were no closer to getting him out. His legs were hitting the low ceiling above his tunnel, and twisting them into the passage was impossible. He had no control over his legs now, after 19 hours upside down. Without his help to delicately bend his knees to the side, they were strongly considering breaking his legs to get him back into the passage, because time was running out for John. Then, in a sudden moment of blinding pain, Ryan blacked out. When he came to, he was bleeding heavily and confused. The rope, holding the pulley to a natural arch section in the cave, broke and whipped the carabiner and pulley directly into Ryan's face. He suffered damage to his face, lip, and tongue, as well as a concussion. He had to get out of there quickly. John was back where he started, completely wedged in the tunnel with the circulation to his arms cut off and his legs completely dead. He was unable to help free himself in any way. This moment started the final demise of John Jones. After Ryan was checked out in the pit and then sent off to the hospital, his father Dave took his place in the passage with John. It took an hour to re-establish the pulley lines, and Dave tried to tie a rope around John's body, but couldn't get the rope past his wedged torso. All the time Dave was with John, he was not responsive. This entire operation required John's help to effectively rescue him. There was no way to lift his 200-pound, 6-foot frame without him pushing and trying to leverage himself in some way. In Dave's effort to tie up John, he got himself stuck for about 15 minutes. Their desperate effort to help save this man had put both his son and himself in danger. It was a devastating reality. Once he had pushed himself back into the 12-inch tunnel, he was exhausted and had to leave. Brandon Kowalis took his place and brought in the telecom system so John's family could talk to him. His wife Emily expressed her love and told him to take a break and rest after all of his effort. She still truly believed he would be coming out, but Brandon could see what she could not. John was no longer responsive, and no signs of life could be heard. Over the previous several hours, Ryan reported the gurgling breaths that John was struggling with. Now, there was silence. The rescue team gathered in the pit area inside the cave and discussed the situation. It was determined that a medical professional would need to confirm that he had actually passed. A paramedic was sent into the tight section to confirm what was suspected. At 11:56 on Wednesday, November 25th, John Jones was pronounced dead. The rescue teams worked for 24 hours straight to try to free John, but it was just not possible with his upside-down position. The clock was ticking, and he just ran out of time. John survived an extraordinary 27 hours in an inverted position, which is 3 times longer than what was predicted as possible. The 6 rescue personnel who actually reached John in that rocky prison were truly heroic. They willfully placed themselves in a portion of the cave that was unmapped with many known risks. They were selfless in their efforts, maintained a calm demeanor, and never gave up on a seemingly impossible rescue. After they determined that recovering the body would be impossible, John was left to rest in the Ed's Push section of the Nutty Putty Cave for
He's still
eternity.
there.
The entire cave system was closed off with concrete, never to be explored again. A plaque was placed there to commemorate the life of John Jones.
Like, right now, he's still there.
They couldn't break his legs at that point when he's dead and then drag him out so at least the wife had the body?
I don't know. I wasn't on the committee to figure out what to do.
Like, the whole issue that they ran into was they couldn't bend his legs. If he's dead, break his legs, drag his body out so the family actually has a body to... Oh,
I don't know. Do you say oi?
I don't know what the fuck I just said. All I know is that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, they might have gotten out recently. I'm not sure. Some in the comments, please let us know what happened with that. But yeah, that's a crazy story. I'm going to stay above.
If you ever tell me.
No.
I don't care how much money.
No.
No. Nope. No.
Yeah. No.
No.
All right.
That's insane.
Hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.